start your day. Fabulously flawed, we're lighting the way. Monday to Friday, new episodes with laughter and love. Let's start the show. We're shaking things up. Don't let anyone dull your sparkle. Motivation, inspiration, and fun. Fabulously flawed, everyone. So shine a little brighter. Grab your smile and sing along. The show's about to start with Marnie, your host. You can't go wrong.
Hey, fabulously flawed friends. Welcome to Fabulously Flawed. I am your host, Marnie, and happy Monday. I know that sounds like an oxymoron. Happy Monday, but I say this every week. Our Mondays don't have to be miserable. They could be a little bit magical if we look for the good. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Spring is in the air, that there was a little self-care, some time outside. I hope you guys did some me time. I started this new show on Netflix. Oh, it's so good. Night Agent. If you're watching it, you're nodding, going, I know, so good. And if you haven't heard of it, it's so good. It's one of those, like, I was having anxiety. It's that action thriller, fast-paced, jaw-dropping. It's really good. So if you have not watched it, it was a very, very cool, chill weekend, just doing that and creating content and being in my little Marnie bubble. But this episode today, I am calling it Myths, Mental Health, and Misconceptions, because there is still... Now, we have come a long way from people talking about mental health. When I first started talking about this on my journey in 2019, I mean, there was nobody talking about mental health. There's a little bit of rumble now, but what I have learned over this 7-year journey is been astounding, to the point I don't even recognize who I was before all this healing. When I look back, and it's like, dang girl, like I went through hell, but I'm here. And I never in a million years thought I would ever talk about mental health. Like that was something that it was always, don't tell anyone, everything's terrific, we're fabulous, everything's good. But I realized, you know what? Everything is not great, and there are people who suffer. And I went through so much shame by my family and so much judgment. We're going to call the police. Get up. Look at you, hysterical. As I'm being triggered, I am now in a mode of just experiencing the 10-year-old me in a state of anger, crying, and they're yelling at me. It was just a recipe for disaster. Health has become my advocacy, my world. Even no matter where I am and somebody's talking to me, I will motivate them, I will help them. And when people first look at me and you see sparkly smile, I mean, I have walking depression, but in the past 5-6 years where I've been healing, people are shocked when I tell them, pick a year, and I could tell you something very traumatic that happened in my life. But guys, I am still here. And some of these myths that I used to believe need to get thrown out the window, because the stigma with mental health, it's like, enough, guys. I mean, aren't we like realizing that we're humans, we're not robots, and there's just this misunderstanding that people are going to judge you, which I assure you, do you care right now about your neighbor's mental health journey? You don't. Do you care about anyone else's journey? You don't. So that's why they don't care about yours, and nor should they. You don't need to tell anybody. It's your personal life. There's no plane that's going to have a sign attached to it flying over the beach saying, hey, Sally's going to a therapist. Like, nobody cares. And the fact that there is such little awareness about mental health makes people not want to talk about it. And it's the stereotypical person that's always perpetuated in the media. Something happens, they go, they had a mental health condition, and I want to punch them in the face and say, no, they were untreated mental health conditions, because people that are aware of their mental health conditions are usually doing something to help themselves. All of the people that do whatever it is where the news would say, well, they had a mental health condition, is code for they were not healed and went off the fucking deep end. So the reason so many people are afraid to get healed is because of the way the media presents it. And it's fucking ridiculous, because there is no, one box if you have a mental health condition and another box that says normal, because there's no such thing as normal. And there is a spectrum of mental health conditions. It's not just I go to a doctor and, okay, now I'm institutionalizing you. People have anxiety. People are going through depression. People have childhood wounds. People have so many emotional triggers they don't even realize they're walking away with. And I know people in their family, they were always like, I'm fine. I'm not going to a shrink. We don't talk about that. We're fine. It's mind over matter. And you grow up with that. You start to have that belief. But if you're feeling kind of shitty in some area of your life, why would you want to walk around feeling shitty when you don't have to, because you think it's some sort of personal failure that your family said if you take care of your mental health? I mean, it's so normal in my world for me that if I'm with somebody, I'm meeting them new, or if I'm speaking at an engagement and I'm like, guys, if I'm speaking and rambling right now, that's my anxiety taking over, because I am really nervous right now. And it's just part of my vocabulary. Anxiety, depression, triggers, boundaries, all of these words that I use in my daily life. As much as I'm going to go get a bottle of water and I'm having a very down day in my depression. It's just so normal, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way the stigma will go away. The fact there's a stigma is because people don't want to talk about it. There's such limited understanding of mental health and the misconceptions of mental illness, and people sometimes don't know how to start the conversation. And just know it's so okay not to be okay. We're human beings, and people, they don't know where to reach out. And I tell everyone, research some of the feelings you're having. Research different therapists in your area, support groups. Look up apps for different therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, and start the conversation with, I think I need to talk to somebody. And I did that. I was taking my kids to therapy, and then myself to therapy. And I remember I was adamant. I said, I am not going on an antidepressant. I am not depressed. I live with people that bring out the worst in me, and just hearing me talk about this is making me cringe, because I don't know what the fuck I was saying. And then Kate Spade died of suicide, and I said, okay, I think I need to go on an antidepressant, because it's not just about being depressed. It controlled everything, the obsessive compulsive thoughts I have, and the words that keep going on in my head, and just everything. But I learned about it, and it was the lack of knowledge that scared me. But once you learn about it, you realize, wait, I can't control my friggin' brain. This is how I was born. I can't control the circumstances I was grown up with that left me friggin' traumatized, and no one ever wanted to talk about it. So, and sometimes I have been made fun of for my young, youthful personality. I know I am 55, but I identify as 25. And they say that your trauma sometimes keeps you trapped at an age where you were once traumatized. So I guess I'm perpetually stuck between 8 and 17, I guess. But I don't take that personally when people used to make fun of me for that, because now it's just pray for me so I could be perfect like you, judgy people. I mean, really, nobody knows what you've been through, so nobody has any right to tell you or to mock how you behave. And if you're in the presence of somebody that does that, get away from them. That is toxic. So the person that or people that used to make fun of me, they are no longer in my life for the reason of protecting my peace in my bubble. And also another reason I think is people don't know how to express that something's wrong. People don't want to relive painful memories and the anxiety felt about discussing it really does give emotional discomfort. And I know when somebody read my book, they called me in tears like, I didn't want to have to go back to when my father left me and when I was in this situation, but I was, reading I'm Not Alone, but they didn't want to go there. But once they did, it was like, wow, I have been holding that in my whole life. So when you believe me, faith is on the other side of fear. But the only way you can address anything going on with you is to get over the fear of tapping into something and have faith that there's a reason you're learning and everything is going to work out for you in the best interest the way it's supposed to. And I know it seems like a perceived weakness. I see this online every day. I see this on celebrities who talk, everyday people. They said, it's a personal failure. I think I have to go to a psychiatrist. Okay, I'm debating taking medication. Please don't think worse of me. Like, what the fuck? That's like saying, hey, I have diabetes. Please don't think I am like a sicko. I mean, think about how ridiculous that is. Your brain is an organ, just like every other organs in our body. And the brain gets traumatized. It can be physically wounded and emotionally wounded. And that emotional wound is something that you cannot see, but it is something that is felt, and it is our behavior. And that is not any fault of our own, the way we were brought up in situations and circumstances, but it is our responsibility, I guess, to heal ourselves. That walking around in a world filled with anger, hate, regret, and rage doesn't get you anywhere and just fills your body with toxicity. And one day, God forbid, could give you an autoimmune disorder like it did me. And I believe if you ask anyone that has any kind of autoimmune problems, they will tell you they have gone through trauma. I haven't met anybody who hasn't. So that's why it is critical. Even if you're feeling okay, take care of your mental health like you would your teeth. Talk to somebody so in case something doesn't go the way that upsets you at a time, you'll be prepared and aware of certain feelings, how to handle them, how to know what's a trigger, what to respond to, what not to respond to. And I think the best thing I could say is really look for credible resources in learning about mental health and read about different myths and misconceptions that you might be going through, because there's so much fear, I guess, maybe of the consequences that if people say something like, hey, I'm not, you go to your boss and saying, I'm just having a tough time emotionally, you're afraid they're going to say, well, you know what, you're fired and this and that. But no, you go to people you can trust, find a trusted person. Nobody has to know I'm having a mental health issue right now. You could just say anything like, I need a day off. I need time to myself. There doesn't have to be anxiety that people are going to look at you and shame you. And because of the stigma, like, oh no, Ed over there is having a mental health problem. Like, nobody gives a shit. The only person that you need to worry about giving a shit is yourself, and truly being the best version of you, who you were yesterday. Because the version we're going to be tomorrow is not who we are today or at this minute. And I would say put yourself in environments that you feel safe, where you can talk about, like, I'm feeling really like overwhelmed right now, or, okay, I am having an anxious moment, without people going, what's wrong with you? Like there are like The judgy people I allowed in my life for years, and I would listen to their criticism. If you could surround yourself the best you can, I know in work situations, you're not able to just remove yourself, but in any aspect of your personal life, that being around somebody that you cannot be yourself or have these open conversations with, remove yourself. Life is too short, because I am like, fuck, I'm going to be 56 in less than 2 months. I'm not 36 anymore, even though I identify with it sometimes, but I am still, the clock isn't going backwards. All I have is now. And that is why I think in my 50s, I've become just who I wanted to be as a child. I would have loved to have taken these classes in high school if I would have gone to school, or college if I would have gone to college. Like everything I do, whether it's my fun videos and my crafty things, it just brings me back to my childhood, and that's part of my healing, and the accountability and awareness. So you know what? I fucked up. I messed up. I was rude. I didn't mean to be so snappy. And then you just, okay, let me apologize. You're aware and taking accountability rather than saying, don't blame me. I didn't do anything. It's so healthy. Trust me, guys. Trust me, trust me, trust me. So have a marvelous Monday. If you can, find moments, just simple moments, few minutes in quiet outside, few minutes sipping your coffee longer, taking an extra walk, phoning a friend, just a few moments to yourself. Remember that nobody will ever be allowed to burst your bubble, and you can't be mad if you say the word bubble. And you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok, Shop Marnie Inspires. And remember to never, ever, ever, ever let anyone dull your sparkle. Shine bright, and much love, and talk to you tomorrow for my Tuesday tips.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Fabulously Flawed. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, we're so glad you're here, and we hope you'll come back Monday through Friday for another serving of empowerment, motivation, and inspiration. We'll catch you next time on Fabulously Flawed.